It's time now for Spears on Sports with John Spears, brought to you by M&M Cartage. And now, here's Johnny
and Scooter.
Woo!
Hey, we're missing somebody again, man. It kind of only works like one day a week, Scooter. I mean, you know.
This Bellarmine thing's getting old.
How do you have a radio show and you never show up?
We need to teach him how to do it remotely is what we need to teach him.
That's exactly. He's got Comrex, I believe, with him. Why can't he just sit down and do it on there?
Yeah, he could.
Where does Matt do his show from?
His office.
Exactly. So I think John just sometimes lazy. What do you think?
I think that's a fair assessment, Tony Burke.
Well, you're listening to Spears Not on Sports today with Scooter and Tony, and it's Tuesday, March the 3rd. And I got nothing, man. No, I'm just joking. I did a lot of prep work. I figured I'd do some stuff for the show, maybe for the week. John will not be here tomorrow. Possibility of being here Thursday.
He'll be here Thursday.
Oh, man, that means the Knights will lose to the Jacksonville Dolphins at noon tomorrow.
Look, I love Bellarmine. I love that they're a part of this great city, but my roots are kind of with Jacksonville, so that's why I have that opinion. I think he'll be here Thursday.
Well, they will be playing in Jacksonville. It's kind of a home game for the Dolphins. They're not playing in their arena, but they're at home, and we talk about travel. But John and them flew out yesterday. The Knights are in the ASUN tournament. They would have to win 4 games to get to the NCAA tournament, which is not – it's not easy to do, but it's not impossible.
They've done it before.
Yeah, and they've proved, like John was talking about yesterday, they've beaten some of the best teams in the conference, but they've lost to some of the worst teams in the conference. So they score lots of points. They give up lots of points. So, well, let's see. I hope John's gone for the whole week. I hope he gets the opportunity that the Knights would pull the big upset and win the ASUN tournament and then get to the NCAA tournament. That would be pretty cool for John. Calling the Bellarmine games last few years have not been that great for John, at least this year. I believe they're 11-18. Jacksonville's 11-19.
At least he's not calling the women's games.
Ooh, that would be brutal, wouldn't it? Unfortunately for the Bellarmine women, they've had injuries. They've had to take walk-ons out of class to play, and it has been a tough year for them. Well, we're here. Scooter's here. Scooter's here all day, every day.
That's right.
That's a working man over there. So if you do want to call in today, you can call in on the M&M Cartage hotline. That's 502-384-1450. I've talked to some people over the weekend at an event, and they're like, well, I could call in. Give us a call if you got something to talk about. It'd be great. Gameday Mens Health line, you can text us, 502-414-1450. Hey, bring the text in here because I like to get off the topic and talk about things maybe that you have on your mind. So that would be good. So if the Gameday Men's Health line is always open. It's easy to do. I tell John all the time, I said, did you ever call a radio show, John? He says, no. I said, that's exactly. People don't feel comfortable calling. So text us on the Gameday Men's Health line. Gameday Men's Health is refining men's wellness. No shortcuts, just results. Testosterone, peptides, weight loss, and sexual performance therapy. Visit GamedayMensHealth.com, defining a new era in men's health. How about that, Scoot?
Nailed it.
Man.
Maybe the best you've ever done it.
That doesn't happen very often. I'm going to start kind of in a different way today. I'm going to talk about the 6th and the 7th region basketball tournaments. Give them some props. The boys will start tonight. Scooter, you were out at a girls' game out there at Ballard last night.
I was. A lot of fun.
How many games you doing this week? 70?
I have got 8 games from now until Saturday.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
So I got 2 tonight and then 2 Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Well,
crazy.
I'll start with the 7th region. We'll go through a few of this. For people out there that don't get much coverage, these high school games these days in Jefferson County, dude, if you don't follow social media, you don't know what's going on. I have people talk to me all the time, say, well, I heard the Tigers are good. What about Mayo or Ballard? And nobody really knows because, if you're older and you don't do social media it's hard to keep up. But I'm going to go over some of the games real quick. The Tigers will not be on the radio or streaming tonight. They will play Central, who is 8-20 at St. X at 7 o'clock. Tigers are 23-7. 3 of their losses are from out of the state, and their 4 losses, I don't believe any of them are by more than 3 or 4 points.
Did they play Central this year?
They did not play Central this year. Central is the runner-up to Manual in the 25th district, and Central being 8-20. If there's a spread on the game, it's a big one. So, and that's the top part of the bracket. The big game, there's 2 big games tonight, I think. Eastern, who is the runner-up to Ballard, is 22-7. They're playing at Trinity tonight. Trinity's record will deceive you at 16-12. It's at 7 o'clock at Trinity. They picked up Jaden Johnson, who had played there for the last 3 years, played at Male as an 8th grader, went to prep school. We've talked about that before and came back. So the Eastern Trinity game to me is a toss-up. You saw Eastern early in the year before they had the 7-1 kid, or have you seen them since they got the bowl kid?
I have not seen the bowl kid play, no. But, I mean, I don't really need to because Damian Young is incredible in and of his own right. So if you're adding another 7-footer beside him, that's an Eastern team that could – I don't know that I'm willing to say that they could win the state championship, but they could definitely make noise.
Yeah, when you have a 7-1 and a 6'10 kid, it pretty much helps you. Heard they play a 1-3-1 and they put the 7-1 kid on the point. But they've improved. Those are probably 2 of the most improved teams in the 7th region. And like I said, they'll play at Trinity tonight, 7 o'clock. Support your high school basketball. The really big game is the Male Bulldogs, who were runner-up to the Tigers. They're 16-13. They will play at Ballard tonight. 21-6 Ballard when they got Cole Edlin back during the year, another guy that went to a prep school that came back. He played at Male for 4 years, and now he's playing for Ballard. And they are playing at Ballard tonight at 7 o'clock. That's where most of the media coverage will be. It will be at Ballard tonight, and that ought to be a good one. Male lost to St. X by 5 the other night in a really close game, and they didn't have their freshman, Jaden Johnson, who is a really good player, 6'5", big, strong kid. He's a freshman. He's a good player, and unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they lost Trey Hilrich earlier in the year, the 6'10 kid. Surprise team in here is Wagner at 15-13. They're going to play at Manual at 7:30. Manual's 21-6. Wagner is 15-13. Wagner upset Seneca, and that will be – games will go Friday at Valley. The winners will play each other. And then Monday, they will have the final at Valley at 7 o'clock.
How big is for those that may not understand, because I don't even know that I even understand. You've mentioned it a couple times now about Wagner beating Seneca and how that was an upset. How big of an upset was that really?
I mean, it wasn't huge, but Wagner had been on nobody's screen. Wagner's been down for the last 5 or 6 years. Brian O'Neill over there has hung in there with losing records. And Seneca was a team people thought could compete because they had 2 big kids that are good and they had a good guard. But I wouldn't say a huge upset, but I don't think most people, when they went and picked it, thought Wagner would actually be there. It would be Trinity and Seneca, and Atherton really wasn't bad in that district. But the last winners have been St. X, Trinity, Male, 2 of them in Ballard. So those are your past 5 7th region champions. Jeremiah Jackson is the 7th region player of the year. And the leading scorer in the region is Jordan Mitchell, a sophomore at Male, with 23 points and 6 rebounds. So Ballard, check this one out, Scoop. Ballard has the leading 2 3-point shooters in the region. Quentin Woods and Cole Edlin are the top 2 3-point shooters. And when you have a 6'11 freshman in Mason Grivna, who is really good, a lot of people think Ballard is the team to beat, not St. X. And Jason Frakes actually picks Ballard to win it. Ballard has won 7 in a row. There's just a lot of good things there. So if support your high school basketball, if you're not doing anything, I know UK plays tonight and U of L plays tonight, and we'll talk about them. But, man, high school basketball gets so overlooked. And as a former coach, former player, and just a fan and a radio guy, it's good high school basketball. That 7th region is really good.
Oh, yeah.
So real quick, we'll go through the 6 rivalry game. PRP's played really well. They're 18-8, and Butler is the favorite, I think, at 23-5. So that's at 6:30 out at Butler tonight. If you're out there in Shively, get out and watch that game. Bullitt Central, 22-8, will play Du Bois. Du Bois has really played well this year. They're 21-9. They're playing at Fern Creek at 7 o'clock. J-Town, who has lost 5 of their last 6 games, who is the favorite all year long to win the 6th region at 19-8, will play at Fairdale. Fairdale got a bad draw there because you figure J-Town's going to play better at 14-12, and that's not a bad Fairdale team. They're at 7 o'clock at Fairdale. And DeSales, who's 20-9, will play at Moore. Moore is the district winner, but they're 11-17. So I'd say DeSales is the favorite there at 7 o'clock. Theirs is a little different. They will play the semifinals at noon and 1:30 on Saturday. Tuesday,
I'll be on the call for those.
there you go. Just pick up Scoot on Glycott if you can't make it out there. Tuesday is the final at 7 o'clock. The last winners, J-Town has won 3 out of the last 5. They won it last year. Evangel Christian, where we're at right here, won it back in 24. J-Town won 2 before that in Bullitt East. Leading scorer, two players in 2 different polls have been the player of the year in the 6th region. Gerard Brown, who averages 29 points a game, number 4 in the state. And then Davion Harrison out at J-Town was in another poll. So I already told you that Brown is the leading scorer. Jason Frakes picks J-Town still to win it, even though they're on a bad streak. Longest current winning streak is Butler at 11. And a lot of things there to going into 6. 6 is wide open, in my opinion. Not that the 7th is not, but just wanted to hit on that, Scoot. And
does anybody outside of the 6th or 7th region concern you at all when it comes to the state tournament?
Well, here's the interesting thing. On the state tournament draw, the 7th region drew, I think it's 10th or 11th. I'm not sure which one, but it is Covington Catholic. And right now, if you look at most polls, Madison Central is number 1, and that's Darren Feldhouse's son, Jake Feldhouse. He's good. Saw him in the King of the Bluegrass 3 different times, 6'8", kid going to Belmont. He is really good. They are good. That region down there is really strong. But the 7th region, which would, if you take the top 2 teams, which is St. X and Ballard right now, Cov Cath is the number 3 in the state in about every poll. They're top 3. They will play in the first round. So if Cov Cath wins, and whoever wins the 7th, that will be one of the highlighting games in the state tournament. That could be a state tournament final in the first round. So you know how it goes when you do a blind draw. You never know how it's going to work out. But, you know, when you get to this point of the season, you lose, you go home. So we saw what happened to the Tigers last year when we went down to the state tournament and J-Town knocked them off. I remember Jody Demling walking in front of John and I, and he goes, "Oh, y'all killed them." And we went home. And very disappointed. So we hopefully that as a Tiger fan and a former Tiger coach and player, we hope Tigers get on a roll here and get back to the state tournament and maybe get back what they didn't get last year, which a lot of people thought they might do. All right, here's the big news. We're going to go away from high school basketball. I got a text, and I already knew this. John never texts me before the show. Guess why he texted me, Scoot?
Oh, boy.
What do you think the Max Packs did last night?
Oh, boy.
Chad Hennessy at
5-0.
Max Pack, man.
What did he give out, 5?
He gave out 4.
4-0.
2 college and 2 pro. I knew who he picked. He came and gave me, hey, Max Pack went 4-0. I know, John. You're not here to gloat, so I'll bring it up for you. He had the 2 college games last night, which didn't turn out to be great games. Duke hammered. Man, they hammered NC State. Did you see the claw mark on Cam Boozer's arm?
No, I'll have to go look.
Oh my goodness! And after the game, he joked that the Wolfpack has claws. It was unbelievable. It looked like a cougar or a wildcat or something actually clawed him.
Yikes!
So it was wicked looking. So Boozer had 26 and 9 last night, and Duke was a 9.5-point favorite. They hammer them 93-64. So that was John's first win. He took Arizona, and he gave 8.5. Arizona looked good last night, man. Iowa State had trouble getting to the basket and scoring. And 73-57, Arizona wins at home. And Arizona got back a freshman that's from the Netherlands. I don't even remember his name, but they are so deep and so good. Man, they looked good last night. Iowa State struggling a little bit. So John was 2-0 there, and then he went to the NBA. I believe it was the Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the Jazz, remember?
Yeah.
Jazz were winning that whole game. At the end of the game, the Nuggets end up winning the game. Murray had 45 points in that game. And the Joker, who they said had a down game when I was watching television, had 22 and 12 and 5. And
I mean, that is a down game.
I mean, yeah.
By his standards.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yep.
That's like that. But John goes 4-0, might be the first time in history. Now that we have I'll do a Max Pack at the end of the show. I just want to make sure that you get a hold of Chad Hennessy at 502-479-4085. Assure Max. Chad's been doing it for 20 years, and he's the guy to get a hold of to take care of you for your insurance needs. So we'll go ahead and take that first break, Scoot. If you're listening to Spears Not on Sports with Scooter and Tony, and we'll be back in just a minute. Back here on the Big X with Scooter and Tony. Beer's not on sports today, just like normal. Rainy day, kind of nasty outside, but it's supposed to warm up.
Woohoo!
Rest of this week. But, Scoot, it's not going to be good golf weather because they're predicting a lot of rain.
Yeah.
And, man, that stinks.
It does.
I know you got out once. You weren't happy with your game. I got out and played really well. You know, you just get that fever that you want to start playing golf, and it's just kind of tempting when the weather gets good. But
I should have done better at looking ahead to the weather this week and gone out on Saturday. That's what should have happened.
Yeah. Did you see the weather on Friday, or is it Thursday? One of them is 80 degrees.
This week?
Yes.
What?
Yes. I just watched the news this morning, and it's going to get up to the 70s, and then either Thursday or Friday.
Friday, 78.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
it's here, baby.
Yeah. It's gonna tease us. Of course, I watched Be Good on Wave 3 the other day, and he went like 2 weeks out, and then of course it's great next week too, and then it goes one day, but he said it's way out. But the weather, temperature-wise, is supposed to be great here in the city of Louisville. I didn't not say we are on YouTube today.
Yep.
Once again, you can listen to the podcast if you don't get an opportunity some days. Just go to the Big X on Twitter. You'll find it. You can listen to Sunrise with Scoots, Just the Cats, KRC, all of them. Everybody's on there, so you don't have to listen live. You can, if you're at work and you just get an opportunity, go listen to it. We got some really nice compliments. We went to a fundraiser Saturday night for former Trinity baseball coach Stephen Tompkins, who passed away about 4 years ago, for the Susan Coleman Society. Great fundraiser, raised a lot of money, and it was a great dude. But a few people told us they listen, and it's always nice to hear that. So,
yeah, for sure.
Text in if you have anything. Once again, the Gameday Men's Health text line is 502-414-1450. I don't care what you're thinking. I love when somebody texted last week about my opinion on Bellarmine and playing Division I or Division II. Things like that are great pieces of conversation. I'll be back in here tomorrow. So let's get to the.
Let's go to the text. Can we do that?
Yeah, let's go to it.
First texter says, guys, it's good to see that JT is making his 2026 debut this week at Bay Hill. I believe his last competition was last year's Ryder Cup. Good to have him back.
And, you know, on that note right there, he had back surgery, microfracture surgery. It's what I had. And it's very painful trying to get to that surgery. They don't want to do those surgeries, but it'd be interesting how he plays this week. It took me a while to go out and swing a club, so I don't have the same trainers and support that JT has. But it is good to see JT back on the golf course, and be a good tournament this weekend at Bay Hill. Scotty Scheffler is like 395 to win, like just under 4 to 1 to win a golf tournament.
I don't know how you bet against him.
And that's nuts. You can't bet against him, but there's all those golfers, and one guy's 3 to 1, 4 to 1. Crazy.
He's good.
What else we got, Scoot?
48 Handley says St. X is going to face a good Covington Catholic team before they get to the male Ballard winner. That's opposite, right? They have to face a good male Ballard winner before they play Covington Catholic.
No, because Cov Cath would be in the state tournament. And
but male Ballard's coming up.
Yes, male and Ballard are tonight. They're on the other side of the.
So St. X would play the winner of male Ballard before they get to Cov Cath.
That would be in the regional final.
Correct.
And then if they won that, St. X, let's just say it's St. X male. It might be Eastern and Manual. We don't know that. But, yes, the winner of the 7th region then would go to the state tournament. And if Cov Cath wins that, which are a big favorite, they would play in the first round.
God, you struck a chord with these texters with high school.
All right.
Texter asks, what do the Tigers need to do better besides contain Cole Edlin to beat Ballard?
Well, if they do play in the finals, what you have to do with Cole Edlin is you can't leave him. He hit a 3 against St. X. He was a foot onto the X logo at half court. And you don't expect somebody to shoot it from there.
He's got unlimited range.
Oh, it's unlimited. And I always tell people to get there early to watch the dunk line at St. X because you'll see stuff you've never seen. between Josh Lindsey and Jordan Jackson and even Jeremiah Jackson. But if you get there early for a Ballard game, just get there and watch Cole Eland stand out on the floor and shoot. He just backs up and he backs up and he backs up. The Western Kentucky signee is unlimited range. But when I coached against him when he was young, you have to face guard him. Mm-hmm. And that's why Mason Grivna is so good for them, the big kid, the freshman, the 6'11". He's good anyway. But Quentin Woods is a really good shooter. But if I'm St. X, I play 4-on-4. I really do. I just try to and what Cole Eland does great, and I'm going to compare him to a guy, and old people will know this, Travis Ford. I coached against Travis Ford in high school when I was varsity assistant, and we thought we could guard him, but he moves so much away from the ball that it's hard to guard a guy like that because he gets himself open and he's so quick on his release. But the biggest difference in the first game was the Tigers came out. I mean, the last game was the Tigers came out and scored like the first 10. And then they, for whatever reason, they didn't really score, and then Ballard went on a run. But Ballard's really good. The difference in the Tigers this year to the last 2 years is depth. They don't when they substitute. Not that they don't have good players. I like the kids, but last year and the year before when they substituted, they didn't drop off hardly at all. So they pressed you, gave you layups. But if they scored one, you usually scored 4. You scored a 3. You scored 6-point, 7-point run. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest difference in the Tigers this year. But be very interesting at those two. But I tell you what, Mail's going to give them all they want tonight.
Well, speaking of Mail, TJ Walker, the Sports Talker, texts in and asks, does Mail have a chance to upset Ballard? I sadly think Ballard or North Oldham are the favorites to win it all in Rupp.
Yeah, well, I'll get to North Oldham next. Ballard, what Mail's biggest problem is right now is Trey Hillrich, the 6'10 sophomore, is out with ACL. And that would have matched him up with Grivna, the big kid at Ballard. Mm-hmm. And that would have made it because Jordan Mitchell, who averages over 23 points a game for Mail, a sophomore, him and Josh Lindsey, two of the best sophomores in the country. Mm-hmm. I don't mean the state of Kentucky, in the country. And if Mitchell goes off, they've got other guys that can score, in James Clark, the freshman, Jaden Johnson. I think it will be a good game tonight because Mail plays defense. And Tim Hayworth is a really good coach. Not that Greg Willis is not at Ballard, but I expect that game to be a knockdown, drag-out game tonight.
Yeah. Oh, the atmosphere alone.
Oh, it will be it will be awesome out at Ballard tonight.
For sure. Another texter says, having seen the talent in high school right now, who are the players you think the local schools should be looking at in the city?
In the city? Well, we always talk about the NIL, about guys going to schools and schools pilchering them. I think after a year when Jeremiah Jackson goes to Southern Illinois and they see that he can play off guard and he's physical and strong, I think there will be some looking from maybe a U of L. But Josh Lindsey is, if he grows a few more inches, people do not do what Josh Lindsey does. I mean, and he's not just an athlete for the people who see all the highlights on YouTube and on X and all that good stuff. He is a kid that has a great jump shot, has a great game. He's still maturing into a player, but he's been at Louisville. He's been at, he's been there on unofficial visits. Indiana's offered him. Auburn's offered him. And he just turned 16 years old the other day. But I think Jordan Mitchell's a guy at Mail, as a sophomore. You're looking at these guys, young guys, are really, really good. And let me pull my sheet up here and see if I'm missing somebody.
Look at like a guy like even Rondo.
Eighth grader.
He's going to be attacked by everybody in this area.
Well, he already, with his dad, who his dad is, also helps just for people, contacting and getting a hold of Rajon Rondo. But, he's definitely, he's got skill that you just don't have at that level. Your boy Young out there at Eastern.
Yeah.
He's going to Northeastern. Somebody like that, he's got to get stronger.
Here's the deal, though, with him. He transferred to Eastern from somewhere down in Texas. Mm-hmm. So if he goes up to Northeastern and wants to transfer away from Northeastern, I'm hard-pressed to believe it would be in the Louisville area.
Yeah, but if you're good enough, man, and you have a really good year, people, they start coming at you. And the other kid is Mason Grivna at Ballard. He's 6'11". He's a freshman. He's good. His dad was an offensive lineman at U of L. He's about like 6'8", 6'9", 3 bills. His mom's like 6'4". She played basketball at Louisville, and he's already 6'11", and he's talented. They were when the night that Auburn, Indiana, and I want to say maybe somebody else was there. That was the night that when St. X played Ballard. They were there watching Grivna. They were there watching Josh Lindsey. So a lot of guys there. Looking, if you look into the 6th region, I don't think there's anybody that's really a local type of, could down the road.
Where's Harrison going?
That's a good question. The only problem with Davion Harrison, he's only about 5'9".
Yeah, he's little.
He's little.
But I think he could play D2, or he could be a really great NAIA player.
Yeah, and for people that follow St. X, Chief Cameron got a full scholarship to Indiana Wesleyan. And people don't realize Indiana Wesleyan has won 3 NAIA national championships since 2014. So Chief, who has really developed, I love the kid. I texted him that night and congratulated him. He could play at a small D1 school. The only problem is, they look at you and say you're 5'10", 5'11", just what we're talking about, Davion Harrison, and they kind of overlook you. And I've talked to people who have something that don't coach at Bellarmine, but they say, man, he can play at Bellarmine. Yeah. And but I'm glad for the Chief. So that's kind of, what you have in the area. Jordan Jackson at St. X is a sophomore, 6'7". He's not physically strong right now with a 7-foot wingspan, and a kid like that develops physically. He's had D1's schools look at him.
Speaking of Bellarmine, 48 Handley says Bellarmine would have a lot more fun if they went back to D2.
Well, I think so, but once again, you're going to get pilchered if you bring in good players. How many years do you keep the good players? I said it the other day when we talked about Bellarmine. If you watch Bellarmine play, they have talent and they have size. There's just an issue right now. I don't know what it is defensively. I don't know if it's Coach Davenport's system, wanting to play zone. I don't like their zone. When you give up 11 3-pointers in the first half, if you only gave up half of them and they were layups, you knock 6 points off, you might win the game. So, I don't know. They're scoring 100 points, but they're giving up 80 and 90 every game. But let's see how they do in the ASUN tournament. Any other ones there, Scoot?
Yep. TJ asked, does St. X need to worry about people leaving for prep schools? Anybody they're bringing in? Rondo would love a St. X education.
Well, I hear through the grapevine. I'm not on the staff anymore, so I don't have inside information. But I did talk to a trainer for Rondo, and he might stay at North. He might go to a prep school. Could end up at another local school. There's always that chance. But I think eventually with Rondo in a year or two, he'll be at a prep school, kind of like his dad. His dad went to Oak Hill. Oak Hill's not what Oak Hill used to be. They're still great, but a lot of those schools like Montford and those schools, La Lumiere, a lot of those schools go take those kids. But I've heard there's a lot of really good 8th graders in town, man. Mm-hmm. And I know everybody's out there hoping to get them. And one thing, and TJ will know this, everybody complains about the private schools, and you can hit me with all your texts after I say this, but you don't pay to go to the public schools. And there's really good public school basketball, and when people say, well, St. X and Trinity are paying these kids, well, they, show me where they're paying them. There's a lot of financial aid, but somebody asked me the other day, and I said, they do have to pay some tuition. They don't come in there. Now, they might not pay much because there's, financial aid and other things, but you still have to pay money when you can go to Ballard and you can go to all these other, you can go to Mail and Manual, and you know how much you pay to go there?
Nothing.
You don't. So that's kind of, that's my look at that perspective. And I've been in the coaching, and I've been around St. X for 30 years, and most of those kids come in and work really hard, and not just all those kids are poor. A lot of those kids, have good financial backing. So any other text?
One texter wants to get off of boys basketball and asked, what about Assumption versus Sacred Heart?
I watched that first game, and Assumption was beating them the whole game. Assumption's quick, man.
They are.
They get up and down the floor, and they don't back off when they get a big lead. They won by 50. something last night against Cal. And they press you. They're kind of like the St. X teams the last couple of years. And they have talent. They have the girl going, I can't think of her name off the top of my head, going to Indiana.
Ashlyn. Oh, what is her
I
last
know
name?
it too. And that's
I know her first name's Ashley.
yeah. And it's not a hard name. I don't remember that. But Sacred Heart's coming on. They won that game because Assumption just blew it. So Sacred Heart struggled there for a phase, but they play really good teams.
Yeah.
And the Gilvin girl put up like 26. Her sister is Josie Gilvin, who's at UK right now, and her brother is Garrison Gilvin, one of Trinity's best players. But Bree Wilkins, I think, scored 3,000 points for them.
Bree Wilkins is awesome.
So
she's a lot of fun to watch.
I don't expect anybody to beat either one of them. And when they get together, I will take Assumption this time.
I will also take Assumption.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a break. If you still want to fire some texts in there, we'll answer them in the third part of the show.
Did the whole second segment reading text.
I'm glad, man. That's awesome because that keeps me away from some of the stuff. We'll hit Kentucky and Louisville real quick when we come back. We'll get birthdays, and we'll do the Max Pack. So you're listening to Spears Not on Sports on the Big X. We're back here on the Big X. Scoot and Tony. Man, the text people, I love it. We were talking about it. People like high school sports. They just don't get enough of it. And it used to be in the Courier Journal. You would get the next morning all the box scores, football, basketball, even baseball. And it's just a dying art. And there's so many good players, football players, Division I, basketball, and baseball too. And I just think that there's not enough publicity. Jason Frakes does a great job, but it just locally you don't get it the next day. And when you get it 2 days later, it just doesn't have the appeal. And a guy told me one time he woke up every Saturday morning and he said, first thing I did was pull the paper out, then look at the football scores or the basketball scores, and they're not there anymore. So
Texter did let us know, Ashland James. We thought about that during the break.
Scoot came over here and said it to me.
Appreciate you sending that in. Another texter says, Scoots asked Tony if he remembers Jenny Benefield from Assumption.
I do. She was, I believe, Vanderbilt. She was a really good player. Not a big girl, but it was a center forward, really talented player, both ends of the floor, good rebounder, good scorer. Yes, I do. So, you know what, Scoot? We're going to have to get
one more.
Okay, yep. Good.
Guys,
Great.
I'd rather hear about high school sports on local radio than pro sports.
Well, great.
How about that?
Sorry we didn't hit the Indiana. I can let maybe tomorrow if Patrick Murphy sends us some stuff about what's going on, because I know Patrick covers all that and he listens to the show. But, it's just awesome. I'm a huge high school guy. John and I have gone to high school events, not just St. X, ever since I can remember. I grew up at down the street from St. X. My dad took me to the football games at Manual Stadium. He took me to the basketball games at St. X, and he took me to the baseball games. And I grew up that way. And fortunately for me, I got to play basketball and baseball at St. X and played on the 1981 state championship baseball team, which is just gloating a little there.
You were?
Throw that out there. Yeah, I was a left fielder.
Look at you go.
Yeah, middle infielder got moved to left field one day. I went out and caught fly balls, and I was one of the fastest guys. And they said, you know what? We don't have to move 3 guys. We'll just put Burke in left field. You know what Burke said?
Okay.
That's fine.
Did you get you a ring?
You know what? Back then, they didn't give us rings.
Oh.
I mean, we had to ask for our jerseys and a patch. Actually, we had the video came up years ago. We found it on Eastern Kentucky University Archives for high school, and we actually got to watch the Final Four, the semifinal and the final game.
That's fun.
We only lost 2 games by 2 runs total, and it wasn't high quality, but it was cool. So that's different times back in 1981. So the M&M Cartage hotline is now closed.
Shut it down.
There we go. Daggone it. Thanks for all the Gameday Men's Health texts. We got a few things we got to hit before we hit the thing. Kentucky and Texas A&M tonight. A&M's a 1.5-point favorite. 159.5, Scoot. Kentucky comes in here. They've won 6 out of their last 10. But Texas A&M, who will be ready to go tonight because they're desperate. They're 9-7 in conference. Kentucky's 10-6. They've only won 4 out of their last 10. They average 88 points a game, and the Cats average 81. So looking for some scoring there.
Track meet.
Yeah, but 159.5. I mean, you usually, when you see those numbers, it's usually higher than that. So 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN2. We talked about it yesterday. Kentucky still has a chance to be one of the 4 teams to get a double bye. Mm-hmm. They are tied with Missouri, Tennessee, and Kentucky. So the SEC's up for grabs. Coming in, A&M is 9-7, along with Vanderbilt and Texas. So these last 2 games in the SEC really matter for seeding in the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
I've seen Texas A&M 1.5 and 2.5. Who you liking that, Scoot?
You know, I've been on Kentucky all morning just because I don't feel like this is a game that they're going to lose. But now I'm thinking about it more logically, and the spread doesn't make any sense to me, right? So when the spread doesn't make any sense to me, I'm supposed to lean into it. So I think A&M probably wins by 2 or 3, despite what I've said all morning that I think Kentucky wins this game.
Well, once again, it's going to be maroon out, black out, white out, and they're going to be ready to go down there at A&M. So I'm going to take Kentucky, just thinking that they are getting better. So I think it's a toss-up game. I wouldn't bet it if I was betting games. Louisville and Syracuse tonight, 9 o'clock on the ACC network. Louisville is a 12.5-point favorite. No Michael Brown Jr. tonight. He is out with his back injury. You think it's precautionary, or do you think it's bad?
I don't know. It's tough to tell, right? I mean, because last time we thought it was precautionary, and he ended up missing, over a month? So it doesn't feel like a situation that's good. I'm hoping it's just precautionary because that's a guy that Louisville desperately needs. They don't need him tonight, but moving down the stretch, ACC tournament, into the big dance, they definitely need the services of Michael Brown Jr. So I'm hoping it's just he's a little nicked up, just need to give it a couple days of rest and be back good as new.
Yeah, 29 Cardinals, 9-7 in conference, are 14-2 at home. Syracuse 15-14. 6-10 in conference. It's a game Louisville should take care of. They need to because North Carolina State lost last night when they got hammered. They went to 10-7 in conference, and then Louisville, if they win, will go to 10-7. That'll move them ahead of NC State. And they're still 2 games behind most of the Clemson and North Carolina who do play. Joe already has Louisville as a 6 seed right now, and Kentucky as a 7 seed, and Indiana. He has them the last 4 in, Scoot.
No way. He's been doing drugs.
So that's, I would have hit more on that, but the high school basketball took over there some. So what else we got to do here? Let's do birthdays.
Oh, come on, Tony.
It was going so good, Scoot. I had to catch you, man. God. All right, here we go. March 3rd, singer Camila Cabello, 28 years old.
Cabello?
Yeah, Cabello. I wrote Cabello. Is that how you say it?
We'll go 3.
All right, 3. Julie Bowen, 55 years old. Claire Dunphy.
I think of her more as Happy Gilmore's girl in that movie.
Yeah, that you know what? With the beer.
Yeah,
going through there, all the happy thoughts by Happy.
Julie's a pretty lady. I'll give her a 4.
All right, 4. So we're moving up. Justin Timberlake's wife, Jessica Biel, 43 years old.
God,
I want to hear this one.
4.5.
I was going to say, I know you're going 4.5.
I like
Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
Alexander Graham Bell, he's dead. 1847 to 1922.
What did he do?
I have no idea. I just
invented the telephone.
I know what he did. Come on, Scoot. I'm not that dumb. 8 years of St. X, I can figure that out. Gosh. All right. I didn't write down the age on this one. Miranda Richardson, an actress, was the best, won an Academy Award for Enchanted April. Best actress.
She is 68 today.
68.
Oh, Miranda Richardson. If I go back, I'll go 3.5.
3.5. Okay. Rapper Tone Loc, 59 years old. Funky Cole Medina. Wow, dang. So that's pretty cool. You know, he was popular for a while. Really was.
Yeah.
David Faustino. I didn't write. Gosh, why didn't I write some of these guys' age down? You know who he is?
No.
Married with Children. The son on Married with Children.
What's his name?
Faustino is his last name. Faustino. He was Bud on Married with Children. You ever watch Married with Children?
Yeah. That was the one with Al Bundy, right?
Yeah, Al Bundy's son, Bud.
Yeah, I watched that.
Okay. So, all right, athletes. Jason Tatum, 27 years old today.
Oh, that's why Spears bet the Celtics last night.
Yeah. Do you think he's coming back?
Yeah.
He's been
Seems
practicing,
like it. Yeah.
man.
I heard a rumor that he could supposedly come back on Friday.
I heard that, too. Tua, he's 27 years old today.
No, he's not.
He's not?
He was on John's list yesterday.
I got the wrong day?
You got the wrong day.
I've looked at the birthdays for the 3rd. I think John had
March
the
2nd.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that come out? Man, that worries me on these other ones that I went down because I went down the list on the, sports celebrities. Jackie Joyner Kersey, 62 years old, Olympian, great track player. What you got on her, Scoot?
Let's see here. She was born today, so well done there. We'll go, I'll go 3 on Jackie.
You'll go 3? Okay. Herschel Walker's 63 years old today. Man, Herschel Walker, you talking about a guy that, just did push-ups and worked out back in the day. Herschel Walker was so good. Man, when he was at Georgia, just a freak of an athlete. Him and Bo Jackson remind me so much of each other.
I can see that.
Georgia Bulldog, Minnesota Viking.
Georgia
They
Bulldog.
the Vikings ruined their team when they took Herschel Walker and gave up the whole team back in the day. Cam Johnson, NBA player, is 29 years old. Here's one for Scooter. Santonio Holmes, 52 years old, was the MVP of Super Bowl for the Steelers.
Yes, he was.
Good memories there, Hunt Scoot.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta get those Steelers back up there, man.
I don't know if it'll happen.
You don't know if it'll happen. Well,
I'm convinced.
Let's go ahead and do the SureMax Max Pack Chad Hennessy over 20 years. 502-479-4085. 7-5 career on the Max Pack. 4-1 and 2-4. Some days you're just not as hot as others. And I picked some here, and I kind of went away from some of the stuff I would normally do. So I know I'm going to have a bad one. Tennessee given 8.5 at South Carolina. Everything in the world tells me to take South Carolina, but they stink.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to give the 8.5 and take the Volunteers tonight against my thought process.
I am also on that.
Okay. TCU getting 9.5 at Texas Tech. I'm taking TCU. They're desperate. Texas Tech's been playing great without JT Toppin. So I'm going to take the 9.5 and TCU, Scoot.
I stayed away from that one, but I would have taken Texas Tech had I made a pick.
Well, they're the better team, but I just think desperate, Jamie Dixon and them. Clemson at North Carolina tonight. Big game in ACC. North Carolina's -3.5. I'm going to take North Carolina tonight.
I'm with you.
They're not looking ahead to Duke. They need that win. Toledo at Miami of Ohio. Miami, Ohio, the Red Hawks are -8.5. I think they're going to hammer Toledo after their game struggle on the other night and people giving Bruce Pearl giving them hell.
I'm with you.
I'm going to take the Red Hawks, -8.5. Nebraska at UCLA. UCLA is a 1.5-point favorite. So you know which way I'm going. No, I'm not. I'm taking Nebraska because UCLA's, I just don't like them. So
I'm with you, but I'm on UCLA just because that line doesn't make sense.
That's what I said. I'm going against what I normally would do, Scoot, but I'm taking Nebraska in that one. And in the other one, I'm doing the same thing against John's system. Those are both system games. Vanderbilt, number 24, at Ole Miss. Vandy's a 6.5-point favorite on the road. I'm still taking Vanderbilt because they need that win. So there it is. Tennessee, TCU, North Carolina, Miami of Ohio, Nebraska, and Vanderbilt. And I plan on going 1-5.
What?
No. Reverse psychology there.
Oh, okay.
So
6-0 would be great.
Once again.
Are you going to place the wager is my question.
I might ride over there and place the parlay on that. Well, you know what? It's been a great show. I love doing the high school stuff. I got a lot of stuff for the rest of the week that I wrote down that I won't have to write down. Thanks for all the texts today.
Well, you only need that information for tomorrow because John will be back on Thursday.
Well, okay. Thanks for all the texts on the Gameday Men's Health line. Thanks, Chad Hennessy, for the picks there in the Max Pack. And I'll be back in here tomorrow with Scoot. You've been listening to Spears Not on Sports here on the Big X.